Welcome to another Khan Academy tutorial. This is factorization with substitution. This video, you kind of have to have a background of factoring. You have to know difference of squares. And then the last component is using substitution to help us with factorization. So let's go ahead and get started. We have this problem where we have x minus 3, quantity squared, minus 64, y to the fourth. And it's just giving us some background information on difference of squares here. We have u plus v times u minus v, okay? That's difference of squares, where u is the square root of the first term here. And then, let me write that, first term. And then v is the square root of the second term. Okay, and then what we do is the only difference here is one is plus and one is minus with the parentheses. So the parentheses are identical with u and v, just one has a plus sign, one has a minus sign. So it's essentially just asking, what are u and v? U and v, like we said, are the square roots of those two terms. So we have to decide, do I have it? Close enough. We have to decide, where's my highlighter? What is the square root of that? Let me change the color. What is the square root of this red one? And what is the square root of this blue one? Okay, so the square root of the red one, we'll start with that. What is the square root of x minus 3 quantity squared? Well, it's simply x minus 3. Anytime you take the square root of a square, it's going to undo the square, and you're going to be left with the square root. So we have x minus 3, so we're just going to look for u equals x minus 3. Okay, and then we're also going to look for the square root of the second one. So square root of 60, I don't like that pencil. I don't even know why it's an option, to be honest. And we're looking for the square root of 64, y to the fourth. We need to find that, and that is going to be 8. That's the square root of 64. And then the square root of y to the fourth is y squared. So we're looking for this equals to v, and then u equal to x minus 3. Let's see where we see that. Well, I think it's b. That's the only one with y squared and x minus 3. So we're going to choose B because that's what we got for our answer. Now, it says factor the expression. Ooh, so we have to do two parts. So we're essentially just going to follow the advice. It says u plus v and then u minus v. Well, if we know u is x minus 3, we're going to put x minus 3 and then plus 8y squared plus 8y squared, like this. Okay, that's the first term. We just did u plus v after we took the square root of both those terms. Then we're going to do, what was it, x minus 3. So in the second parentheses, x minus 3. That was our first term. That was u. And then now we're doing minus, because I did plus the first time, 8. No, it's not x. Come on, man. Where is it? Oh, this guy's not listening to me. Where's that? Ah, there's the y. 8y squared. So 1 is plus, 1 is minus. You can't see the whole thing, unfortunately. Why not? But just trust me that okay, there we go. 8x minus 3 minus, and then x minus 3 plus. So that one was plus, but we have the u and v intact. So let's check it. Good to go. Next question. All right. Ooh, this one's a trinomial. Okay, but this one's telling us this is a perfect square trinomial. That's the hint it gives us, okay? We have u and v. So essentially, we just need to take the square root of the first and last term again. This is a different one, but this time it's not difference of squares. This is a perfect square trinomial. So here we have our first term. Here we have our last term. And we're going to have to take the square root of both of those and then plug it into this right here. So the square root of 16x to the 6 is going to be 4x cubed. What's the square root of 9y to the 10th? That is 3y to the 5th. Okay, so what it wants us to say is first identify u and v. Well, this one's going to be u. This one's going to be v. Okay, that's our first step. Then it's going to want us to plug it in at the end to factor it. So we're going to say, okay, because we let this chunk equal u and that other chunk equal v, now we're going to substitute it into this formula here. And get 4, oops, let me change the color here. 4x cubed, and we're going to put that, oh, we don't need to put two parentheses because we already know it's a perfect square. and then plus 3y to the fifth. And we can't forget this component here, which is, gosh darn it, which is squared. Okay, so that is going to be our final answer with u equaling that. Sorry, when I point at my screen and I don't show you, it's kind of hard to see what I'm pointing at. Okay, so now we're looking for u equals 4x cubed, y equals 3y to the fifth. Okay, I think that's the first one, A. Yep, that's the only option there. And then we want to put it, and so we put, what was it, 4x cubed plus 3y to the fifth, 3y to the fifth power, go down, and then we have to square the whole thing. Perfect square trinomial, check it. We got it. Onward. Great movie. Okay, difference of squares. Okay, we can recognize that right away. This is just like our first example where we have to square this one, and we have to square, sorry, not square, take the square root. So we're going to take the square root of 16x to the fourth, and that's going to be u. U equals 4x squared after we take the square root. V equals 7y, okay? And so when we put it into our formula, we're going to get 4x squared plus 7y, and then we have to do 4x squared minus 7y. And that's going to be that's going to be the end of that story. Okay, so we're going to look for 4x squared and then 7y. Boom, letter D. And then we're just going to plug it in when we're done. It's 4x squared plus 7. I really do not like putting in the y. Not a fun task. And then 4x squared minus 7. Not x, y. Thank you. Delete that. Put the parenthesis. Where's the parenthesis? Boom. Okay, check it. All right, next question. It looks like our last one, finally. Another trinomial. This one's a perfect square trinomial, this time with subtraction. Okay, so I actually kind of like this exercise because it shows you how to do perfect square trinomials, both positive and negative, and difference of squares. So pretty cool. Anyway, we have 9x to the fourth. I made that way too dark. And then y to the eighth. We just have to take the square root of both of those. We're going to let u equal the square root of that, so that's 3x squared. And then we're going to v equal the square root of y to the eighth, and that is going to be y to the fourth. Okay, so now we have those two, and we're going to put them into our formula, which is 3x squared minus y to the fourth, and then we're square the whole thing. And that's how we do it. So we need to look for 3x squared and y to the fourth. And I think that's C. 3x squared, y to the fourth, bingo. Okay, now we just have to factor it. We're going to do 3x squared minus, what was it? Y to the fourth. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not sorry about that. Okay, well, one day it will let me. There it goes. I feel your pain, people. To the fourth, go down. And then we have to square the whole thing because it's a perfect square trinomial. 3x squared minus y to the fourth. Good to go. Check it. We're done with this Khan Academy. Woo! Hope you guys heard that sound too and you got 100%. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it.